All right, this is a lesson I want to do about the deadly wound that was healed. Something that your Christian pastor churches won't go in. They don't know how to break it down. They'll keep you just reading First Corinthians and Second Corinthians, and spinning you in circles. It'll take about, if you lucky and go to Sunday school and every Bible night, it might take you 500 lifetimes before you can complete the Bible. And I'm being generous. If you are relying on the Christian church to teach you or read anything to you, they're not going to read to you anything. You will know more songs and dances than you will know verses. So now, it is important to get into biblical prophecy. It pertains to your salvation. If you want to be able to measure the times, know what time that we're in, you got to know what times has passed as well. So you know that we're not looking for a prophecy to be fulfilled if it's already been fulfilled. You got to know a little something something. Real quick, this is 2 Timothy 2:15. It says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Rightly dividing the word of truth. So you come with this Bible and you read it, you eat this whole roll, and you rightly divide the word of truth, meaning what? Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. You just can't read the scriptures just a scroll at a time and think you're going to be able to understand this. You will be very, very confused. You have Revelations 1 talks about blessed is he that readeth. It's a blessing to read. It's highly discouraged in a Christian church, and especially even asking questions. But they got all the questions for the Hebrew Israelites, though. I find that interesting. But on to the verse in question. This is Revelations 13 and verse 3. And I saw Revelations 13 and 3. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. All right, headshot, as we see, is a one shot, one kill. You don't come back from a headshot. But what's interesting is that this beast comes back from that deadly wound to the head. So, what is that deadly wound? First, you must understand who the beast is. Understand who they are in Bible prophecy. If you don't understand who they are, you're not going to understand Revelation 13. If you understand who Esau is, you're not going to understand Revelation 13. If you think it doesn't matter, you're not going to understand Revelation 13. So you could just forget about it. I'm going to read verse 3 from the top again. It says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. Now, who is this beast and this is deadly wound that was healed? If you understand who Esau is, you understand how they pertain to the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire, they fell. But what happened to the Roman Empire? It was healed. It's highly, when do you see empires that were received a deadly wound and they came back? No, you don't see them. They was a world power then. They came back and they became a world power again. They came back during the Renaissance time. And this helped establish America as a world power. America is Rome all over again. You look at the symbolism of ancient Rome, America patterns itself after that. The Senate House, the Congress. Where do you see a Senate House in ancient Egypt? A Senate House in the Assyrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire. This beast was diverse. So this beast had his deadly wound that was healed. And so now we're waiting for this head. America gets this deadly wound to where it doesn't, not only does it not rise, but you don't have anybody that inhabit this place ever again. You will never ever see another person step foot on American soil after this place is completely destroyed. Because all of the abominations that's been done in this place, the sins of this place has reached unto the heavens. But you wouldn't be able to put this together if you don't do a diligent study. There is importance of knowing history. This is why this truth ain't for women. Women don't care about history. When do you see women talking about history? Or I watched the History Channel, or talking about how they was watching Kings and Generals or infographics. Girls ain't concerned about none of that. They could tell you what happened with Love and Hip Hop season 5, or what's that show with Big Meech, Little Meech, the BMF series, I think it's called. They can tell you about stuff like that. Or what are those little Zane books, those hood books, Tubi movies? They couldn't tell you nothing about anything about history, and all this pertains to your salvation. Because if you don't understand this, anybody could just come to you and tell you, hey man, the deadly wound that's healed, man, that hasn't happened yet. We got to wait for that to happen. And if you waiting for that to happen, guess what? You relaxing, you measuring the time according to that. And now you think all of a sudden we got, 70 more years in Babylon. And you can't walk around with this attitude like that in Babylon. You got to hasten the day. You got to look at the prophecies, understand the prophecies, eat the whole roll, go out there and teach. The Most High will sup with you through His Son, and the Spirit will guide you, the Spirit of truth. And it'll teach you, and you'll be able to do what? You'll be able to fish men. You ain't gonna get women. Are there some women that believe? Yeah, there's some women that believe. But they don't really, they more so, most of the women, from what I've seen, they more so believe that, there's something divine. It's not like they have faith and they truly understand, what's going on. A lot of them just, believe in the 12 tribes, couldn't break them down, don't know, but they just have a gut feeling. And you got to be able to, with this thing, you got to be able to understand what you teaching, what you reading Because you're going to be asked questions, and what are you going to do? Parrot it? That's why the most important thing about this is also being diligent and reading. Make your calling and election sure. How is it that you have some people who've been reading this for a very long time and they can't get it, and you got some people who just woke up and just started reading, and Most High just gave them a quick understanding? That's the spirit that's working with them, and you can't, deny it. Scripture says, "I will give thee thy mouth, and none of thy adversaries shall be able to gainsay nor resist." And if you are with them, you got that mouth. Now that I'm gonna give all praises and glory unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kakodash Barakatah, that belongs to the elders of GMS Rule Well. Peace, salutations, and shalom.